Everyone, come on in, come on in. I'm really excited because I am in Washington, D.C. It was a very long trip, but it will totally be worth it as soon as I am able to eat lunch. And so here in Washington, it is approximately two, well, not approximately, it's two something. And so I'm really tired because it was an early morning and a lot of packing. But I wanted to just do a quick scope focused on 10 things that millennial employees really need to keep in mind whenever we travel. And so if you can please swipe to the right and invite your followers, that would be amazing. And we will go over 10 things to keep in mind as a millennial whenever you travel. Okay, let me introduce myself. My name is Jennifer Edwards, and I am with the Texas Social Media Research Institute, and it is an institute based in Central Texas. And so we work with around 18 amazing students who are very focused on, number one, gaining skills while they attend the university, and then number two, networking with others so they can expand their network. Okay, so 10 things to keep in mind when traveling as a millennial. The first thing is make sure you wear comfortable shoes. That's so important because even today I parked the car, walked to the airport, and then walked to the plane, boarded the plane, so on and so forth. So it was a very intense walk. So today I'm a heels person, but I have on flats. So that's one thing to keep in mind. Wear comfortable shoes. The second thing is be productive on the airplane. You have 3 or so hours to really focus on exactly what you have at hand. So whether that's, thank you for the hearts, guys. So whether that's a blog post, whether that's finishing a report, whatever, just get your iPad out, get your keyboard out, and start typing. And the funny thing is, that is when I do my best brainstorming. That is when I do my best work. So really focus on being productive on the airplane. Flip that tray table down and start typing because there's never another place where you can actually just sit and there's no music, there are no kids usually, and I'm a mom, but I pay attention to kids crying because I wonder how can I help, and so there are no kiddos, and usually you can just focus, and so the other thing is to be productive on the airplane, just really focusing and typing on your document. The third thing is to really keep your schedule consistent, and so it's easy to get off schedule, especially as you travel from whether it's on an airplane or train or even by thank you for joining, or whether by ship, but just really keep your schedule consistent, because when you do, you will be able to successfully transition back to your regular job or your regular schedule. Then also maintain communication with the office, and that's super important. And I got to tell you, even in the 3 hours that I traveled from DFW Airport to Reagan National Airport, I received probably around 350 email messages. So I told myself, I'm not going to focus on those messages right now. I will just wait and until I'm able to eat lunch, and then focus on replying to those messages before 5 o'clock Central Daylight Time. Okay, so number 1 was wearing comfortable shoes. Number 2 was being productive on the airplane. Number 3 is to keep your schedule very consistent. And then number 4 is to maintain communication with the office, but to realize that your schedule will differ a little bit. So it's important to just keep your schedule consistent, but to realize that it will differ a little bit. Also, record notes about your trip. If you're going to a conference, whether it's a higher ed conference or a blogging conference, you can really brainstorm and come up with new and innovative ideas. So record notes about your trip, and then really reflect on those notes after you arrive home. And I will tell you, I will be the first person to tell you guys, whenever you arrive home from a conference, that's one of the most overwhelming things that you can ever do, that transition from conference to home. Because number 1, you see the housework that isn't done yet. Number 2, you always have emails to return, and so just really focusing on recording your notes during, whether it's a conference session or whether it focuses on your reflection. Record those as they emerge in your mind. And one app that I utilize a lot is basically on the iPhone, but it's the voice recorder, and so I utilize that a lot to record my notes. Okay, so let's go to the next one. Keep receipts. Receipts are so important, whether you're traveling for professional purposes or for basically for personal purposes. So really keep your receipts and focus on, on your budget for the trip. So even if I'm traveling on behalf of the university, I try to keep costs to a minimum. So just keep your receipts. Also, get proper sleep, especially if you are on a varied time frame. So Washington is 1 hour ahead of us of Central Daylight Time, so just really keeping your sleep schedule consistent, because if not, it will catch up with you either on the trip or after you arrive home, and you don't want to do that. Also, have downtime. So really focus on, like my downtime, the way I recharge is not by going out or even having dinner. I like to eat dinner inside of my room. So I go down, I get, a takeout container, and I will bring it back to the room and I'll eat it. I don't like paying for room service at all, period. And so the last time I had room service was around 12 years ago. So no room service now. But to have downtime. And so that is how I recharge. I turn on HGTV, and we don't have cable at home, but I turn on HGTV and I eat my takeout container. So that's what I do to recharge for the next day. And especially since we're an hour ahead and I have a 5:30 meeting, well, 5:30 CDT, 6:30 for Washington time. I have a meeting coming up tomorrow morning. So yeah, we're going to make this work. Also, utilize this time when you're away from the office to really brainstorm. And that's super important because you're able to come up with ideas you would not dream of developing when you're at home or when you're in the office or whether you are on your commute. So really brainstorm and get those creative juices flowing. And then the last one is make sure you write. And so maybe it's not a reflection, but maybe you write a creative piece. Maybe you're working on an article for a newspaper. Maybe you're working, goals. Maybe you're working on a blog post, but really write, because this is one of the only, I hate to say this, but this is one of the only times that I actually get to sit and just reflect and just write creatively. And so whether I'm on a plane or in a hotel room, that is when I get to really focus on my writing. And so that's when I get a lot of my research articles done as well. So the first one is to wear, let's recap. The first one is to wear comfortable shoes. The second one is to be productive on the airplane. The third, yes, quiet time. What's that? The third one is to be productive on the airplane. The fourth one is to keep your schedule very consistent. The fifth one is to maintain communication with the office, but to realize that your schedule will vary a little bit. The sixth one is to record notes about your trip. Then the importance of keeping receipts. So that's number 7. Number 8 is to sleep. Number 9 is to have downtime. Number 10 is to brainstorm and also to write. So thank you so much for joining today's scope. Do you guys have any questions? I know it was a quick scope, and I love this this background here. Will there be an infographic on this list? Sure. I have Canva. In fact, I do not travel as a millennial. I do not travel with my computer unless I'm working on a huge report that is confidential, but I do not travel with my computer because I can do everything from my iPad, especially if it's not confidential at all. So, just to really realize that if you're checking a laptop or if you're carrying a laptop, then you will actually have to go through a different procedure whenever you're going through check-in with TSA. And so I like everything to be streamlined, and I already have my shoes off and the little socks. Yes, I do need to write an ebook. When I'm in a hotel? Maybe. But just to really focus on how you can, really streamline that check-in procedure at the airport, because that can be really overwhelming. So aside from that, thank you guys for joining today's scope. I'm actually waiting on some crab cakes, and that is my breakfast / lunch / dinner, because I didn't have any of that. So we will make it one meal today, and then I will scope a little bit later about any progress that I'm making. So I hope you guys are having a good day, and I will see you soon. Bye.